Okay, I wanted to talk about the next parts going to use your ESP 8266 in standalone mode. So we're going to wipe out the firmware, which means if you want to use the AT stuff and use it as a modem, you have to go through that process of putting the firmware back on. But we can use the Arduino kind of interface and use it. I had put together just, I don't know if it's going to connect up with my hotspot in here today, but just a little Bluetooth radio. So, connect up to a streaming station, and just with your ESP8266 and just a speaker. It's quite low. You need an amplifier in it. Maybe I'll put one on before seeing it, but it should be connecting up here. We'll see. So I want to talk a little bit about the lab that's coming up next week, and that's doing something known as MQTT. When you transmit stuff, MQTT was designed for really low kind of impact on battery life for sensors, originally by IBM, to connect up sensors to satellite. And so it was proprietary for a number of years. I think it was developed around 1999. And then a number of years later, after using it in-house, IBM released it to the open source community so everybody could use that. MQTT is used all over the place. On the Week 11 links, there's a bunch of links to different things that we'll talk about here. Again, it's now an open standard. It's an OASIS standard messaging protocol for the Internet of Things. It's designed as an extremely lightweight publish subscribe messaging transport that is ideal for connecting remote devices with a small code footprint and minimal network bandwidth. MQTT is used in a wide variety of industries such as automotive, manufacturing, telecommunications, oil and gas. So we can put an MQTT software on here, read some sensors, and publish to an MQTT broker. You'll see the word server, you'll see the word broker. I'll talk about kind of all of that. But the neat thing about MQTT, well, it runs over TCP/IP. There is a version that runs over UDP, but the most commonly used is over TCP/IP. And but it does away with a lot of the overhead that you'd get if you did something like over web sockets or web services or things like that. It's MQ telemetry transport. MQ was a one of IBM's products, and they were doing the satellite communications. If you look nowadays, depending, you might see it referred to as MQ telemetry transport, or just it means nothing now, and it's just MQTT is the protocol. And so there's a whole bunch of different links for getting started and using it. One of the links that I have here is from Hackaday, and it goes back, I think, to 2016. I don't know if you've looked at Hackaday. Hackaday has also daily, they hack a day. They come up with 3 or 4 interesting articles. People are doing things from robotics to, MQTT to maybe building their own CNC machines to, you name it. Somebody's playing with something, and I often like just having a look and saying, what are people doing today? And things you've never thought of, and you go, oh, that's really kind of cool. This link goes to, again, 2016, and it's a nice kind of just little overview of MQTT. And it says here, in this short series, we're going to set you up with a do-it-yourself home automation system. Why? Because it's about the easiest thing under the sun, and it's something that many of you can do with a material on hand. A Raspberry Pi as a server. Next term, we'll be using Raspberry Pis. And you could easily set a Raspberry Pi at home to be an MQTT server amongst tons of other things at the same time. And an ESP 8266 node as a sensor. Expanding onto something more complicated is left to a reader. You can read MQTT messages just in Node-RED. And Node-RED was that kind of interface we used with ST with their monitoring program. They put a version of Node-RED in that, and so you could use it there, or you can just use Node-RED by yourself. But there's others. A common kind of command line version is called Mosquito, which is a broker. The neat thing about the way things are, and I'll just see if we've got kind of an overview here, is MQTT is a pub, sub, store, and forward IoT-enabled machine-to-machine connectivity protocol juggernaut. As you can see, it's fully buzzword compliant. That doesn't necessarily mean it's super complicated, and you can read up on MQTT till you're blue in the face, but here's the bare minimum you need to know to be comfortable. The network has clients and servers called brokers. And the neat thing is, because the broker handles a lot of the complexities, your client doesn't have to. And so it says here, clients, whether it's your temperature sensor or the graphing application that's going to use the data, use the broker as a central hub. Data are arranged in topics, which is like a directory structure. So the temperature node in my bedroom is called home bedroom temp. When I add a light sensor to my bedroom, I'll set up a topic called home bedroom light. It's kind of like a directory structure on your hard drive, and you can set it up in the same kind of way. Incidentally, just on a little side, Git, you guys have been doing stuff with Wayne and pushing stuff up to Git. Git is arranged in a directory structure. Linus Torvalds, who came up with the Linux kernel, didn't like the current way some of the different storage options, version control systems were working. So he came up with the distributed version control system, Git, and he came from Linux. He came from using all of the directory structures and things. Git is based around directories. And when you go in and look at things, it's all under different nodes and subnodes and things. And so that's where kind of all of that background goes. Over here, incidentally, Git is different from GitHub, right? Wayne, like Git is the protocol to store things. GitHub, Microsoft bought GitHub, and that's a very common place to stick it. But you can use GitLab, and you can use Atlassian's Bitbucket. They'll all do the same kind of push up to. They all give you free accounts and things like that. So there's different ones. I have stuff on GitLab and GitHub and Bitbucket and all over the place on things. So you can do that. And they're all working on the ways of arranging things into projects and stuff. That has been a later thing. Everything was just kind of stored, so you have 1,000 projects there trying to find it, and they're all working on ways to kind of group things now. Anyway, over onto MQTT. So it's got the same kind of directory structures. And so again, we have these brokers or servers that keep track of things. So as a node, when a client gets some new data, it publishes to a topic and it sends the data to the server. The server or broker then forwards the data to all the other clients that have subscribed. In my example here, the bedroom node publishes to home bedroom temp. So we see we have this bedroom node, and there's a broker, and we have a seller node, and then we have a heating control, and we have a display. See, the heating control gets information back and forth. So there's a publish and subscribe to the broker. If I publish things, I'm just sending data to the broker. I can also subscribe and say, whenever you get something to that topic I want to hear about, and the broker keeps track of it. The display is just doing a subscribe because I can't push anything to another node anywhere. I'm just saying, hey, whenever you see that bedroom temperature, let me see it. And it can update on the display. So I can have a little unit. I could have one of these set up, talk to a broker, and have your TFT screen on it and just subscribe. And every time a new topic comes in, put it on the display. Now, that's all I have. I could have two buttons there on the same display, and the buttons would publish to another topic, and the broker gets it in and decides what to do with it. Okay, so it's by abstracting away the clients from the broker, then you can make your clients be very minimalist and then have the broker be able to keep track of things. So you can have hundreds or thousands of different topics, and it's able to keep track of all of that and send information out appropriately. There's Often it says, given physical device will subscribe to some topics and publish to others. My heating controller will want to act on the temperature sensors and display its status on an LED in the bedroom. There's naturally more to say, but that's kind of, it's a nice kind of little overview. And you can, in Linux, in the command line, do mosquito, you can do Node-RED, all of that kind of thing. We're going to use a public broker, okay? And so when we come up to the lab, there's a public broker. It's known as HiveMQ. There's a few public brokers out there, and sometimes in lab, I've had to go from one to another because it's getting overloaded and things. But HiveMQ is a nice public broker. They've just recently, or since the last time I looked, given you the ability to sign on and have an account and get a private for, I think, 100, maybe 100 devices. I can't remember, but they'll give you an account to try stuff out and make it more private. But they're public brokers, what we're just going to attach to. You don't have to go make an account. One of the things about a public broker is those messages, I can subscribe to Garage Door. I don't know if anybody's publishing to Garage Door, but if they are, I'm going to see the messages. Okay, and so you can go and look at that and see messages coming in from all over. So if I see a garage door, you know, kind of closed or whatever, maybe I'll publish to Garage Door and say open, you know, kind of thing. So you got to watch what you put on a public broker is kind of what I'm saying. But for our purposes, we're going to be putting out to publishing to a topic ESET 260, and we're going to be able to publish in addition to an out topic. So we're pushing something out to an out your first name, and then also subscribing to an in first name. And then if you publish to those, the broker will, if you've subscribed and you publish to your device, the broker will know where it is and send data to your device. So we're able to control this with a public broker. Okay, so we can do a private one in-house with Mosquito or with Node-RED. This is again part of his 4-part articles. So you've built a central server and filled your house with Wi-Fi connected nodes, all speaking to each other using the MQTT protocol. In short, you've got machine-to-machine side of things entirely squared away. Now it's to bring humans into the loop. We're going to explore a couple of graphical interfaces. You could build a physical knob and an LED for every little aspect of your system, or use GUIs like Node-RED. There are a lot of frameworks that you can go. Minimal system we built on this one is temperature humidity sensor, publishing its data to home outdoors temperature on home outdoors humidity topics every 10 seconds. And so it's just showing you the broker with a display and data just going. So display node has subscribed to broker. Anytime it sees temperature, humidity, or status, different messages, it will go to the display node and update. Here's a sensor node, and it's giving you temperature and it's giving you humidity. And whenever that node gets those various readings, then it pushes it over to the broker. And then you could have a computer, like I say, Node-RED, looking at that and being able to interact with it. One of the neat things about MQTT is there's a number of things that you can do. There's something known as last will and testament. If you don't see me anymore, is there something you want to tell the different nodes that have subscribed? And so you can say, okay, I don't have connectivity all the time. So If you don't see me after a certain length of time and somebody goes to subscribe to you, do you want me to tell them something? You could say something like, not currently connected, something like that. You could also be publishing to a node that isn't there right now. Somehow your graphical display in the house is offline. Maybe it's gone out of range, something like that. It might be in your car, something like that. If there's information that you are, different sensors are pushing to the subscriber, the broker doesn't see the subscriber, you can say, keep the different messages, keep just the last message till somebody gets online. Okay, and so you can do those kind of things and say, so as soon as the right node gets back and connects up, you can get that information put back. So it has a bunch of different abilities to do these things. And so it goes into a lot more detail, but just talking about some of the different things that you can do with MQTT. And again, on a link, it's going into a little bit more of a background. Now, the way I publish things, for instance, it's very particular about the topic. You have to be exactly right in the topic. Case sensitive. If there's a slash, it's different than if there's no slash. It's kind of like, you have to be exact with it. It's just like if you were making a directory and you were one off on something, you're going to the wrong place. You can also have wildcards. So the hashtag is a wildcard. So I can subscribe to bedroom slash hashtag. Anything going to the bedroom topic, it will get. Okay, so, or I could just go, no, this display is just for bedroom slash temperature. And so I publish to bedroom slash temperature, and that's the only thing that will be received by that node. So it's up to you what you want to see. Typically, a graphical display or something, you might display more messages or all of the different messages, and then the individual ones. For instance, of a sensor, if I was responding to a button, I would say I wanted to subscribe to garage slash door or garage slash button or something specific. I want to just go to HiveMQ. Let's go to HiveMQ for a sec. Bing. Oops, Bing. I have to plug my network in. They came and checked and said that the network is fine and I shouldn't need anything, but they gave me a cable because the network is, so their solution to wireless is giving me a wired connection. Okay, HiveMQ, again, there are a number of different public brokers out there, and they're nice in that I don't have to set up that side of it to be able to test stuff. I could just get a client and I either publish or subscribe. And so it's saying, hey, develop efficient solutions, connect to any device. Uh, um, a key challenge for any IoT is connecting to moving data and devices, fast and secure. So all the different advertising. And again, they now have the ability for you to sign in and have a free kind of more private one than just our public one. This is where they also have a nice go on MQTT Essentials. And so there's all sorts of information. There's even a free book introducing MQT, what's all the different options with your client and your broker and all of that, and publish subscribe basics and unsubscribing. And again, if we go look into some of these, this is a 10-part series. And the publish subscribe decouples the client that sends the message from the client that receives the message. The publishers and subscribers never contact each other directly. In fact, they're not even aware of the other's existence. It's all up to the broker, which is really kind of nice in that this abstracts our different devices, and the broker is responsible for the hundreds or thousands of messages. We can all subscribe to the same topic, and the broker happily goes and sends the messages out to the right node. And then we can, again, say, if you don't see me anymore, do I have a time to live? Do you want to store and forward when I come back online? All of this kind of thing. So it's really kind of neat. It goes all into the different ways of doing this here. Just trying to see if it will give me some samples of the messages. And there's some little videos on it going as well. If I go to MQTT, where is it here? If I go to MQTT Cloud, you can sign up and get up to 100 client devices at no cost to you. So that's kind of cool. We also have, should have just our, looking for our dashboard, where'd it go? MQ. There it is, dashboard, Hive MQ dashboard.
Would you run HiveMQ like on your desktop?
Sure, yeah. Well, the Hive MQ, the dashboard, if it takes me there, just thinking about it, is a WebSocket interface. So the broker is in the back end, but it's a web interface that you can go and connect to the broker, and then your devices can connect to the broker, and so now you can communicate back and forth and test it. But you don't have to use the dashboard at all. You can just do everything with different devices. If I go and contact one, typically the port number, by the way, is 1883 that they have on this. But when you go and publish or subscribe. So I could have two different devices subscribe to the broker. It's just getting the web interface up and going. Come on, where is it? Hive and come on. There we go. So there's the Hive MQ. It should be a link just off the main page there. I'll have to see if they've changed it on me, but it's just broker mqtt-dashboard.com. And so I'm going to connect. So that just connects this WebSocket interface to the broker. So it says it's connected. I don't get anything because I haven't subscribed to anything. I can add a new topic and it says test topic. Well, let's just subscribe to test topic. I don't know what's there. But there starts to be a whole bunch of, so somebody is sending zeros and ones to test topic. This is test topic, the Hakka home menu. There is all sorts of different data home, the Hakka home. There's something from somebody else. So we're just looking at whatever people are sending. I want you to subscribe to ESET 260. Hopefully no one else is doing that kind of thing except your fellow classmates, and to individual topics in your name and out your name. So it's just you sending stuff. But if I go and subscribe to ESET 260 star, then we should be able to see everything. And so let me just add a new topic. Let me get rid of maybe the other topic. So I want you to subscribe to, I can't remember if it's lowercase or uppercase that I did this, for instance. And so, if you type the topic wrong, if something is messed up in it, what it does is it just knocks you off everything. 260. I think there's good. So there I'm listening for ESET 260 stuff. So anything published, if I publish to ESET 260 slash temperature slash in or subscribe to Outmel, for instance, anything published to that I will see. okay, coming up as long as this goes and connects. If I go over here, there's a test topic once again. If I said it was ESET 260 over there and slash whatever topic I wanted, then that's sending data to this as long as this is subscribed to the broker. Okay, so I can publish to the broker and not get any information back, or I can subscribe and say, hey, broker, whenever you see something that says ESET 260 in Mel, then send me that. And so if anything anywhere in the world attaches to that broker and sends that topic, I get it. Okay, this device gets it. So it's really kind of neat that way in abstracting all of this kind of stuff. I don't know. Let me just see if I've got it. I've got anything going on it. Of course, we'll have to see if my network, we'll see. Go there. Topic. Yeah. Don't know if I'll see anything. Let me go topic. So that's me sending stuff out. And so any of this is publishing, which means if I'm subscribed to this thing, I should see it. And then on this side, anything I subscribe, I should see coming down here if any messages are going out to it. And now if I go to, I should be able to go to HiveMQ. So this is HiveMQ's dashboard. So if you search HiveMQ dashboard, it says the MQT dashboard utilizes the Hive MQTT broker. You can use any client or library to publish to it. It's free. Don't use it for sensitive information. You look at the outgoing messages, how many messages are outgoing, how many are incoming right now, how many subscriptions. So currently there's 29,000, 28,000 different devices saying, hey, if you see something, send it to me. Retained messages. Again, I said that you could just send something and if somebody's there, forget it. But you can also say, hey, if somebody's offline, keep the message until they get back online. And it's saying there's 66,000 retained messages. There's a bunch of them just got taken up. And then how many bytes are read, how many queued messages are waiting for data. Again, the port is 1883. The WebSocket port, the web interface that we just looked at, is at 8,000. And usually off of this, there is the link. It says what you can use our WebSocket client. So right here, if I click on that, that takes me over to the WebSocket interface to that dashboard. Okay. So where all of this is going, if we have a look at our lab, our next lab coming up. Okay, Node MCU and MQTT, and it says add the pub sub client library in OpenMQTT. And here I've got the one by Nick O'Leary. Again, if you go, you'll see probably a bunch of different people's implementations. The one I've used for a while, it seems to work quite nicely, is Nick O'Leary's one. And when you go and add a library, then if you go to file examples in your Arduino kind of interface, as long as you're now on the ESP8266 node MCU 1.0, then under examples, pub sub client, there's an MQT ESP8266 sketch. And so this is the sketch. You need to change the SSID and password. And then the broker that's by default set there happens to be HiveMQ. So that's nice to use. Again, I've had to change that. Sometimes we've been in lab and it seems to be overflowing, and there's a number of different brokers that we can go and pick. If you go search MQTT open brokers, the Eclipse project has an open broker as well. This is the one that's set up, and I so far this year I found it to be fairly good. But again, we're not limited to that one. And if I was doing a house control, I'd have a Raspberry Pi or something running it just local. I want you to, there's a in topic and an out topic in the reconnect and loop functions in ESET260. I want you to change it to ESET260 in your first name and ESET260 out your first name. Compile your program, open the Hive dashboard. And so again, there's the Hive dashboard that we just looked at, and then subscribe to ESET260. And so, I said capital R, so maybe that's what's going on. I click connect to subscribe out your first name. So ESET260 out Mel. I wonder if I've got it there. Let's just finish this one off. So you'll see a hello world coming down. That's a default. And then I want you to send data out to it and then get data back in. And what happens in the software, if you go and read in the header files, the little blue light you can turn on and off by subscribing to a certain topic. And so you can change that as well. And let's see, I'll go to HiveMQ again. HiveMQ, MQ broker. Let's go back over to it. Sure, it's open in one of these. Here's the WebSocket client. So connect here just connects this web socket interface at port 8000 to the broker. Let's see, I think I said capital ESET260. If we've got anything. Capital, let's see if we got anything. So there's just a hello world with the packet that's being sent to 8. And you see here I said subscribe to ESET260 /pound. So what is this topic? ESET260 /outmel. So I just subscribed to it now. My unit here has subscribed to it since we've been talking, so it's managed to connect and go. And then if I'm on here, I go my topic. We said it would be ESET 260 again cases, and I said that was going to be in Mel. And if I go 0 is the number, and we'll go publish. Then the LED is off. And I'll send 1 is the number, and the LED is on. Okay, I didn't have to do anything else but 1 or 0. The code is just looking for, uh, the, and so that's going to a broker somewhere in the world, wherever Hive MQ is. And so there, and again, I'm pushing, this guy is subscribed to ESET 260 in Mel. And so any messages that are going to that topic, the broker somewhere goes, hey, there's somebody somewhere in the world that's subscribed to that topic, and it could be 1,000 of them or more. And it just goes, yeah, here's the data. And it happens fairly quick, right? And so nice thing is, broker handles all that complexity. This just has to know how to connect to your network and how to then push something to a broker. Yep.
So even if you sent your ESP on like a battery pack, you would still do that?
Yeah, as long as you're connecting to Wi-Fi somewhere. Yeah, you bet. And the nice thing about a battery pack, and the reason MQTT was kind of invented, was the sensor data. I could go to sleep for hours, wake up, transmit a message, go back to sleep, and you'll get, the idea was to get a year or years on a small battery pack or a coin cell kind of thing. So that's kind of the thing about that. And so it doesn't, the node that is going to publish to it just has to know how to get on the network and how to send a message. Doesn't care about any of the coordination about it has to go to 1,000 different clients, any of that kind of stuff. It just publish and forget it. It's up to you though on this. You can also say it's a really important message, and if the receiver isn't there, store it, and the broker will store it and wait till the connection happens, and then manage that kind of synchronization. You also, again, can have something called a last will and testament, which means if you don't see me in a certain amount of time, notify all the clients that have subscribed that you're gone, you've died, or something. Okay, so yeah, if somebody is waiting for something, you can do something, says something happened, it's no longer able to get there after a certain amount of time. So you can set up those kind of messages and the complexities in the broker. Okay, so that's kind of nice about it. But fairly good there. But again, if I'm looking at subscribing to everything, or subscribing to ESET 260, I can see the information coming out on this public broker, and so I could probably guess at what somebody's subscribing to, so I can inject into somebody else's system, open the garage door, by just looking at plain text. So this is public for testing. You can subscribe and get up to 100 devices for free with the Hive MQ. They've given you that. Or you can use something like Node-RED as a MQTT broker, Mosquito on the Raspberry Pi, something like that. Very low bandwidth requirements, very battery friendly. So it's quite a cool thing to use. And it's being used more and more locally too. So anyway, let's leave that one there.